Hello and welcome to Follow Everton. It is half time. It is Southampton nil, Everton nil. In some ways, no surprise that we played the way we did. We, if we played too open, it wouldn't be the Dyche game. I think a very similar strategy that we played against Fulham last week. The main difference is Southampton are generally not uh, don't lack that finishing touch. So Everton kind of playing a low block, playing quite narrow, letting them have possession, letting them feel comfortable, passing around at the back, and not trying to press so often that they don't try and take that on anymore. So what you're noticing is the likes of Drissa Gay, Dwight McNeil, and DCL would not always be closing down, but occasionally when the ball would linger for a bit, all of a sudden they would spring a little trap and try and win possession back. There was a few chances early on. I think Garner Gay may have chased down the, the keeper, who was Aaron Ramsdale. But a big challenge for us right now is okay. They are in the last 5 minutes, they were starting to have some scary opportunities. Harwood-Bellis had a free header. Cameron Archer missed an opportunity on to cut on the to go to the far post, just missed, and Pickford missed it. And I think there was one other one right around that same period here when I was trying to get the laptop set up for halftime reaction. So all of a sudden, we looked like we had all the answers. Then we lost a set play. Michael Keane was outdone by Harwood-Bellis. We got beaten through the middle. But outside of those three moments, which is a caveat, but the game ebbs and flows, we seem to have a lot of answers. The setup for, let's see if I can get this to show correctly. Um, for Southampton, they didn't play with a five at the back, but SofaScore is still showing it. Basically, they had Ryan Manning quite often in an advanced position on that left side, and then but it was more like a back four. Kyle Walker Peters occupying a higher spot on the right hand side. In terms of and they've often though played really narrow, which generally played to our hands. Ashley Young a couple times may have struggled for pace, but it was often players running directly at him, and he got. And I'm sure people who are going to react here in the comments will talk to the fact that players were getting like Ashley Young got elbowed in the face, had a bloody lip, no decision was forced him off. What's interesting, Mister Abo here or Abo. I thought in some ways Lindstrom you could say was useless, but I think he's been quite a live wire in some ways as well. May not have that touch of composure that kind of fits with his energy, but he's chasing balls down, winning back possession, and trying to make things happen. But it might be a matter of telling him to calm down and be a little bit more clever with his runs. But I thought he has generally done, I think, fine in this first half. I think any to say that we're doing fantastic is kind of besides the point of how we're trying to play. We're playing so cautious, where we're kind of waiting to spring traps rather than even trying to take the game on more consistently. Um, so I'm not sure it's in a way we can go after the squad too much because they're very well drilled in actually playing more like a 4-4-1-1 out of possession. And what they're really trying to do is wait for that opportunity to kind of turn and go. Adrissa Gana Gay has been really key on some of those interceptions. Oro Mangala's been battling as well. Um, is he taking on the game enough? I'd arguably say no, but yeah, it is frustrating to watch. But in a way, like we know that they are better than what we're playing, but we're kind of playing to our strengths versus like what our capabilities are too. Because I think Dwight McNeil has not had a. If he has had a through ball, it has been very inconsistent. DCL was kind of is certainly trying to get on the end of things. His cutbacks have been a bit kind of lame or obvious. And Jai, yes, he's doing a little bit on that side, but it hasn't really led to much. And I think the main standout here is Everton's out of possession kind of positioning, where we're holding relatively comfortably. Vitaly Mikalenko winning about every single battle I can think of on that side. Oro Mangala and Gay helping intercept and kind of double team from time to time. But the reality is, this is a Southampton squad that isn't actually that good. They're not they're not really taking the game to us. It feels like there's a slowness in the pace where Everton are kind of letting Southampton just have the ball, and there's this awkward lingering period. But Everton are not doing enough with it at this point. What I wanted to see, or what I expected to see, was exactly what we saw for the first 30 minutes. What we really didn't need to do now is say, okay, now that we know how to handle them and we can spring these traps, let's be more consistent about it. And let's actually, yes, we can spring the trap when they're in possession, but we don't need to give them possession. We can now start to hold the ball a little bit further up the pitch more consistently. Idrissa Gueye, I think, has actually stood out for me as probably the best player in the field with quite a few quite good interceptions and passes out to Njai. Mikalenko's been okay. I don't think Tarkovsky and Keane have been bad by any means, but it's granted Keane got beaten off that one header late in the match or late in the half there. Tarkovsky's yellow. Unfortunately, it was a free kick that was not given to DCL, and Tarky wipes out. I'm gonna. It may have been Adam Lallana. I forgot who it was right in the middle, and it was quite an obvious kind of, the old school meaty takeout slide just to make sure that the play stops. So the yellow was justified. But again, they haven't until that last little period there where they had that a couple that breakaway chance through the middle. They haven't looked that dangerous. Um, and to Peter Duggan's point, the reason though why I don't think he was ever going to be taken off was because that was a challenge at the halfway line, and there was quite a few Everton players there. So it was if you've watched the film Goal, which is I think it was this film where they had this guy called Santiago. He was playing in learned he got picked up from a scout and ended up playing for Newcastle. There was this challenge which was like the old fashioned. You support your mate, you wipe out the player and say sorry, I was a bit late there. I don't. It was certainly a savage challenge, but it wasn't to the point that you're breaking legs either. So I think it was an amber, not a yellow, but it certainly wasn't a red for a tactical reason either, based on where they were in the positioning. Um, yeah, and I think Taki is always good for one of them a game. The scary part is when those type of challenges become throwing the likes of Lissandro Tonali to the ground and giving away a cheap penalty. But at this point, heck, maybe he's got it out of his system. Um, there's I think the reality though, we're not. Clearly, it's 0-0. I'm surprised there haven't been more goals scored. The game started to open up a little bit there. I think the real thing to ask now is, can Everton decide to take the game by the horns instead of letting spring in the one relatively one-dimensional trap of, okay, the ball's going to get turned over, but Mikalenko's going to help double team it and support Keane against the likes of Cameron Archer or Armstrong in the middle, because Armstrong hasn't really had that much of an impact at all. So Armstrong is only like when we're playing around the halfway line, then he can outpace someone. Again, they're not really breaking us down. Lallana and Flynn Downs looking okay. Fernandez okay, but really like what we need to do is just pin them in a little bit more, because I don't think if we pull our players, press them up higher up the pitch, they have enough to break us down. The real question though is, okay, if Keane and Taki are flat footed enough, is Archer going to win for pace more consistently? Okay, maybe, but you then need to say maybe you keep Ghana Gay or Mangala back to support. Part of really why I was screaming that we needed to bring Branthwaite in, we could press Southampton way higher if we had Branthwaite staying back for leg speed, and we could just box them in and win turnovers higher up the pitch and take more and invest more players up the pitch and take those risks, instead of, well, occasionally we feel like picking it off them and taking a chance and it hasn't worked, but we're very cautious on and nibbling around. But the other, to Duggan's point, I didn't want to bring it on just swearing on the line there, but basically anytime we are winning, we're chasing, we're pressing. I think it was Drissa Gay should have won the ball off Adam Lallana. I guess there was just enough contact where he knocked him over and the foul was given. But there's a lot of these like 50-50. Southampton, I think, just got lucky, and we could have been in on goal, but it wasn't given. I don't see those unless the referee is going to be consistently just giving Southampton the benefit of the doubt. one of these calls is going to go against them, and all of a sudden they're going to score. It reminds me a little bit. Oh, I'm blanking on if it was for us or against us when Everton played. I think it was away at Spurs, where we got really unlucky and should have scored. Either Spurs should have scored against us, or we should have scored against them from a free kick. And sometimes, and we saw this with the likes of Onana, he would like bank on the fact that falling down gives you a free kick. And there's going to be a couple times, I think, in the second half, if Everton do the same thing, that all of a sudden you're going to be in on goal. Maybe it's Dwight McNeil taking on Benrek and Bellis, can strike from outside the box. Maybe Jesper Lindstrom gets his composure in there, not just his enthusiasm and energy, and he can settle, and we can take advantage of those moments. Because if we play the same way, a few of those opportunities will happen. But the harsh reality is Southampton aren't that good. They're at the bottom of the table for the reason. They're not winning. They're punchless out of possession. They give the ball away, and we should be more than capable of taking of winning this match with the side we have. Press, take a little bit more risk. The other component, though, because Southampton have probably a little bit stronger bench and they're playing with a lot of possession, do Everton have the leg speed to and fitness to keep the kind of tactical formation of a relatively low block 4-4-1-1, playing quite narrow? Do Ryan Manning, Mateus Fernandez, Adam Armstrong's going to be in the middle? Is Kyle Walker-Peters going to outflank Mykolenko and cause more concerns out wide, and all of a sudden Everton have to get more creative? If they don't, then it's solely a matter of, do they have the leg? Do Taki and Keane have the legs to keep up with this the entire match? Is Mangala, who I haven't seen play too many 90 minutes so far, are they likely to continue for the duration of this match with the same leg speed? Time will tell. It looks like we're about to go back to the match here in a minute. So what I will do before that happens is talk briefly to. I'll move my basically go directly below where my camera is. We can look at some of the key highlights. So they're showing Southampton having a large majority of the attacking momentum. Let's be honest, this is not always an effective representation of attacking momentum because Southampton have a lot of the ball, but the period that really Southampton were most dangerous is right around the halftime where that red line was. And it's saying that Everton were. But part of that is also, if Everton are up, progressed on the pitch, and Southampton are scoring off a counter-attack or counter-attacking against us, and our rest defense isn't doing well enough, okay, that's maybe when these little green ticks are. But I don't think Southampton, outside of that last 5 minutes, were that effective. These blue spells are generally when Idrissa Gana Gueye was causing havoc, going to Iliman Ajay on that left-hand side. Highest rated players, Kyle Walker-Peters on that right side, but again, kind of punchless. Bellis and Bednarek have a lot of the ball. I think Njai, Gueye, and Mykolenko on that left side have been quite interesting or quite effective, but they are not. It's not leading to goal scoring opportunities yet. But maybe pressing that side is going to be our avenue in on goal. The predictions still think Everton, who are flagged here in blue, are going to win. 56% thinking winning, 23 Southampton, and 21% draw. So either the bookies just don't think highly of Southampton, or that's just the general prediction of the vote. General statistics, no surprise, we're doing that sweet spot of 2/3 of the ball of the possession is given to the opposition. We have about that 1/3 xG, so in other words, scoring opportunities not high for either squad. Total shots 6 to our 2, and I think that's about it. For everyone watching, thank you. We're about to kick back off to halftime. It is still 0-0. I'm not sure about substitutions as of now. And as I mentioned, I might be able to tack on late to the match reaction for a brief period, but it's likely going to be Corey and Yan. So until next time, up the toffees and best of luck for the second half, Blues.